All right, here's our review. You want to find the measure of angle F. So F is right here, right? Okay, so we want to, from F, label O, across from 90 is H, and then A. Remember, across from F is called the O opposite, across from 90 is the H hypotenuse, and the leftover A is adjacent. So we got to remember SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is what we use for trigonometry. So out of these three, the H has nothing, right? There's nothing labeled over here. So since I have OA, OA has to be TOA. So I'm going to write 10. Now this angle is missing, okay? So I'm going to put an X here. So tan X equals O over A, 12 over 5. All right, and then if you remember, when we're solving for a missing angle, to find that X, to move and get rid of a trig, to get rid of this tan, we're going to move it to the other side, but it's going to become inverse, and it'll be gone on the left side. So now we have X equals, tan is on the right side with a little -1 because it's inverse once you move it across that equal sign. 12 over 5. So we want to plug that in our calculators. When you look at your calculator, the top right should say degree, DEG for degree. If it's not degree, you press on, 5 for setting, 2 for document settings, and then angle needs to say degree. You can change it, but you gotta press OK. Okay, well, let's go ahead and type in tan inverse 12 over 5. So hit the trig button next to 7. Tan inverse, and it's 12 over 5. 12 divided by 5. All right, so I got 67.38. We're rounding to the nearest degree, so the closest degree is 67. Cool. All right. Number 2, what is the approximate length of RT? So I'm going to put an X right here at RT. And then from the angle they gave us, 51, I'm going to label O, H, and A. Okay, so once again, I'm going to label SOHCAHTOA. All right. All right, so cross out H, no H. So now we have O and A, which once again is tan. So let's go and write this out. Tan, the angle is 51, equals O over A, which is X over 13. And to solve for X, to get rid of that divided by 13, we times it by 13. It cancels on the right, and now I can do tan 51 times 13. And we get 16.053, which rounds to 16.05. We get G. Cool. All right. All right, number 3, which equation can be used to find the length of RS? All right, so here is X is at RS, and we're going to put an arc at 20 that they gave us and label O, H, and A. So remember, SOHCAHTOA Cross out H, there's nothing there, so OA is tangent yet again. What the heck? All right, so we're going to write tan. The angle is 20, and that equals O over A, 19 over X. Now we could solve this, but it's asking us just to set it up, which is going to be B right there, all right? Cool. All right, now a plane traveled 322 miles from El Paso in a direction 57 degrees northeast, as shown below. What is the height of the plane? Well, I do want to find this question mark, so I'll put an X here. But here's the deal. I don't know an angle inside of this triangle, except this right angle right here. 57 is not inside the triangle. So I need to figure out this angle right here using 57 and the fact that together they make 90, right? So all I gotta do is find the complement by doing 90 minus 57, and I get 33. All right, so I'm gonna put 33 right in here, and now I'm gonna use that angle to label OHA. OHA. Which one is not labeled? Well, it's the A. Scratch out A. And now I can write sine, because it's thinking of SOHCAHTOA. OH has to be S. Has to be sine. So let's go ahead and hit sine. 33 equals O over H. X over 322. Okay. Now remember, when X is on top, to get rid of that dividing, you gotta multiply by 322 times 322. So sine 33 times 322. I get 175.37 to the nearest mile. It's about 175 miles. Cool. All right, number 4. Or sorry, that was number 4. Number 5. What's going on here? Okay, number 5. The question is, what's going on here? What's going on here? Okay, well, I'm so confused. Okay, there we go. Number 5. Regular inverse trigonometry helps us find a missing side. To find a missing side, that's when we use regular trig. Okay? Whenever we were just doing normal trigonometry, we were finding missing sides. But to find an angle, that's inverse trigonometry. Cool. So you got to know that regular is for sides. Inverse is for angles. Okay. Now let's use that information to find x here. So here's my angle. I'm going to label O, H, and A. I'm going to remember SOHCAHTOA. I'm going to scratch out the O that I don't need. I see AH has to be cosine. So it'll be cosine of the angle, which is x, equals A over H, 35 over 45. And then to solve for x, I'm going to take that cosine, move it to the other side, but it's going to be inverse. So x equals cosine is on the right side with a little -1, inverse. 35 over 45. Cosine inverse 35 over 45. And we get 38.942, which is 38.94. So that's going to go right there. All right, that's how you find a missing angle. Look at that cool cowboy flag. All right, we want to find the length of the flagpole. So we want to find this missing side right here. So if we know two sides and we're missing a third side, this is going to be Pythagorean theorem. So let's label A and B are next to 90, and across from 90 is C, right? So we're going to have to do 8 squared plus 3 squared equals x squared. When the numbers being squared are next to each other like this, we can just type it in one step. 8 squared plus 3 squared is 73. And if we're doing decimal, we're just going to type our next step in the calculator. To get rid of a square, we square root, and we square root both sides. What is the square root of 73? 8.544 is about 8.54. Cool. All right. All right, we got this kite problem. Let's be careful here. A kite is flying in the air, connected to the ground. The kite string is 26 feet long from the stick man. Find the vertical height. So that's missing. Oh, sorry. It said 13 feet away from the man horizontally. So 13 goes here. What is the vertical height? X. Okay. So can we do Pythagorean theorem again? A, B, and across from 90 is C. So you got 13 squared plus x squared equals 26 squared. All right. And since we're missing a leg, we need to just do what's 13 squared, what's 26 squared. 169 plus x squared equals 676. And to solve for x, we need to get rid of this loner 169. So minus 169 minus 169. All right, so x squared equals 507. And again, last step, square root, square root. Now, we're supposed to do it in simplified radical form. So let's do square root of 507. 2 won't work, so let's try 3. 507 divided by 3 is 169. Hey. Now 169, does that divide by 3? No. What about 7? No. What about 11? No. What about 13? 13 times 13 is 169. It's a square number, so now 13s are prime, so now I can actually write the answer. I got one pair of 13, one loner 3, so my answer is 13 square root of 3. Cool. So you got to do the factor tree to get the simple radical form. All right, can you multiply the radicals and simplify? So outside times outside is how you do multiply. Okay. So outside times the outside multiplies to make 12. And then 21 times 15. 315. Square root 315. Now look, 12, 315 is not an answer here. D looks like it might be, but it's not. Okay, we need to break this down. Okay, so let's try to break 315 down. 2 won't work because it's odd. Let's try 3. 315 divided by 3 is 105. Let's try dividing 105 by 3. 35. Okay, 3 times 35. 3 won't go into 35, but 5 times 7 will. That's it. Okay. Now, do I have any pairs? Yes, I have a pair of 3. And remember, there's a 12 outside. So that 12 and that 3 have to multiply to make 36. It's not just 3 on the outside. Okay, don't forget that 12 out there. And 5 times 7 is 35. Okay. That's how it works. Number 9. Rationalizing a denominator. 3 square root of 7. You cannot have a square root on the bottom, so you multiply by the same square root on the bottom and the top. A regular number times a square root just goes next to each other, and a square root times a square root is at just that number. That's it. All right, and then number 10. Now look, this looks like you can't add it together, but like none of these answer choices match rewriting it. But that's because look at this right here. This can break down. 2 doesn't go into it, but 3 does. 3 times 25. 25 is 5 times 5. All right, whoa, whoa, whoa. So I actually have a pair of 5, loner 3. So let's bring this down. 2 square root of 3. And then this, 5 goes out with this negative sign. So it's negative 5 square root of 3. And then we're going to bring this down, plus 5 square root of 7. Now look, you can only add the like terms. These can add together. What's 2 minus 5? Negative 3 square root of 3. And then the one that doesn't match, you can bring it down, plus 5 square root of 7. All right, so you got to break it down and then combine like terms where you can. The one that doesn't match, bring it down next to it, okay? That's your test. Only 10 questions. Very similar to this. You got to do your review. You got to bring it done on Monday, test Monday. All right.